Hello, my name is Jeff Kaplan, and how would you like to be healthier without having to spend a lot of money taking prescription drugs every month? I dare say that that might be something you would really consider. I'll just tell you a little bit about myself. I'm a registered nurse, and I have been a nurse since 1991, and I haven't really been involved in nursing since 2005, even though I keep my license up. I'm a registered nurse. And I stopped nursing full time because I was disillusioned with the medical field. I'm not saying that the medical field is horrible completely, because if I was in an accident, if I had a fracture of an arm or a leg, I would be definitely going to the emergency room. And I think the emergency rooms in the United States are way above average, and they do a really good job for emergency care. Well, I'm not talking about taking the place of doctors or anything what I do now, but I just want to say that I got really excited when I was introduced to a company using essential oils. And I just want to talk about some of my favorite oils, and I'm not going to go through a whole slew of them, but I just want you to be introduced to some things that might benefit your life. And because it's not about oils, and it's not about products, and it's not about a company, it's about you. And, we're all wanting to live longer. We all want to be healthier. We all want to have more energy. We all want to sleep better. We all want to have a better life. And we want that life that's better for our families too and our friends. And, we're all on different journeys and so on. I've been on this journey now for since 1999. And I really got excited about, a couple things I'm about to share with you, because, being in the medical field, you see people that are not generally doing that well if they're on a lot of prescription drugs. And I've seen several videos of people just focusing on one drug or another, and they're excellent. I've learned a lot, but I'll tell you, I had learned a lot when I was passing out pills, as I used to call it, to patients, and I was really amazed and shocked at how ignorant most people are about their own medications. Like, they'd have their blood pressure pills that would be labeled on the top, heart, and then, or cholesterol, or depression, or so on. And I found out that a lot of people are sick not because they are, sick because that's their heredity, or just the disease fell out of the sky and happened to deal them that, deck of cards or whatever. It's because of their diet and the drugs they're on. And you can pretty much figure out a lot of times why people are sick by looking at the medications they're taking and just going into a drug book and looking at the side effects. And a side effect is really a nice way of saying a direct effect, because a side effect is really the effect the drug company doesn't want or the doctor doesn't want. Well, anyway, not to get too diverted away from that, knowing that people get side effects, and a lot of them, from the medications, and I could just go on, and I may just focus on a few classes of them later, but I just want to show you something that's really exciting. And I was introduced to essential oils, and one of my favorite oils, and I'm going to pull it out right now, is this one right here. And it comes in a kit. You can't hardly see it too good. That's peppermint oil. And peppermint oil is amazing. I can't really say that it cures a disease or that it mitigates an illness, but I can say the PMS words. I'm having a hard time really showing it, but promote, maintain, and support the health of so many areas in your body, like, say you have an upset stomach, and for whatever reason. Now, I found out from my wife that she works on a general medicine floor. The most common complaint of patients and the most common problem is GI issues, gastrointestinal. That includes everything from your mouth all the way down to the end zone. Some people in the medical field call it an anise. That's what I used to call the herb anise. I called it anise, but it's really, anise is one thing and anise is another thing. Anise is what you eat and anise is what you have. But anyway, be that as it may, that's part of your GI system. And the GI system is something a lot of people are not comfortable to talk about, especially when it comes to what goes out the end zone. But peppermint oil, I will tell you this. If I can show it to you, there we go. It is amazing. If you ever have any thoughts of doing something where you, and I can't name any disease, but any thoughts of sticking your head in the commode and opening your mouth and letting things come out of it, peppermint oil is unbelievable. In fact, I will just tell you this one example. I got many stories, but this is one. I was new to the oils, and I was always carrying around lavender and peppermint oil. They were my two favorite oils at the time. And I was at this patient's house, and he had a heart situation, which is really common, among a lot of people you see in home health and in a hospital. And so one of the things I like to talk to people about is their health. And cayenne pepper is one thing I would talk about a lot because cayenne pepper is excellent for circulation and the heart. Cayenne pepper is something you can buy in this grocery store. It's just a general name for any hot peppers. Well, so I was saying cayenne pepper is good for your heart. It speeds up the flow of the blood, dissolves clots, and it'll stop chest pain in less than a minute. And he was really intrigued, and this guy goes, yeah, that's great. You mean, is this what you would call peppers? And he pulled out this bag of little red berries that was in the freezer. And I'm like, yeah, that looks like African bird pepper. So he said, well, have one. And I said, no, thanks. I got to get going. They're yours. I don't want to eat your peppers. He said, no, that's okay. You can have one. Try it. See what you think. See if it's hot enough for you. And I said, I don't really want it, because it's yours. He said, no, go ahead. So I said, okay. I took one and I put it in my mouth and I chewed on it and I swallowed it. And he kept talking and I'm looking at him and I was in such pain. My mouth was on fire, my throat, everything. It was so hot. All I could see was his mouth moving, and I couldn't really understand what he was saying. I just said, do you have a bathroom around here? I could feel the stuff was coming up, and it was coming up toward my mouth pretty quickly. I was acting really cool, calm, and collected on the outside, but on the inside I was like, I don't know if I can make it. So anyway, he said, down the hall. So I said, thanks. And I was Mr. Cool. So I walked down to the bathroom there, really suave and debonair. And then I closed the door and ran toward the toilet bowl. And I stuck my head in the toilet bowl and I was ready to just let it go. And I felt a bottle of peppermint oil in my pocket. And I go, oh. And I pulled it out and I put a drop in my hand and I put a finger in my hand and put it to the drop of peppermint oil. And I put it in my mouth. And the nausea stopped just like that. It took about 2 or 3 seconds. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this. But this is amazing. Peppermint oil promotes healthy GI function. It promotes improved breathing. I have used this. I just put a drop in my hand and I swirl it around. You can even open up the lid and just breathe right out of the bottle. In fact, one of the best ways to use essential oils is just to breathe because it goes right into your brain as well as your lungs and it gets into your bloodstream really fast. The oils don't just go through your GI system when you breathe them in. It's like a fireworks display. But I've used peppermint oil on lots of patients and I learned something, and you can watch a video, and I'm going to stop in a minute here, but it's called SLAP, and it stands for Saturate Location with Amazing Peppermint. And so that's one of my mottos is peppermint oil is just phenomenal, and it's in a kit you can get, and you can subscribe to my list and let me know what you think. Try peppermint oil out and see what you think about it. I'll tell you, I will probably do a few more videos on peppermint oil, and I'd like you to be able to, be acquainted with this oil, because this will absolutely, I'm not kidding you, change your life for the better. And it's not the oil per se, it's about your health, it's about your life, and it's about the lives of your children, your spouse, whatever. Peppermint oil can make a huge difference in your life. I can tell you story after story about it. I don't want to take up a whole lot of time, but you know what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I can squeeze in another one really quick. Now, peppermint oil is very cooling and very soothing. And I was working at this hospital in Fort Myers, Florida. That's where we're from. And I was on the night shift, 7P to 7A. And I had to transfuse 2 units of packed red blood cells into this little frail 80-some-odd-year-old lady. Well, she must have been close to 90. She only weighed about 82 pounds. She was really, really tiny, and her skin was really dry. But the first thing you have to do when you infuse blood or transfuse it, you have to check their temperature. We're not allowed to transfuse blood unless the body temperature is below 100 degrees Fahrenheit. I checked this lady's temp, and it was 102.5. And so I had to do the nursing thing, so I gave her 2 Tylenols, which are absolutely horrible for your liver. Stay away from Tylenol if at all possible. Tylenol is absolutely like throwing a hand grenade into your liver. It is really liver toxic. So anyway, I gave her 2 Tylenols. I came back about an hour because it takes Tylenol 30, 40 minutes to kick in. And I checked her temperature, and it was about 101.4, which isn't low enough, not even close. So I gave her 2 more Tylenols. Now, trust me, 4 Tylenols within the space of an hour, hour and a half is way too much, especially for an 82-pound lady. I gave her 2 more Tylenols, and I felt guilty, felt terrible, but I was following hospital protocol. Well, actually, I was stretching it because I was also supposed to get this blood into this lady. So anyway, I went back about an hour later, and her temperature was about 101.2. I'm like, I got to quit messing around. This is ridiculous. I looked around. Nobody was looking. I pulled out my bottle of peppermint oil, and I said, I'm going to give your feet a massage. I'm going to give you a foot massage. Okay. So I put 2 drops of peppermint oil on her feet, and I started rubbing her feet for a few minutes, and then I said, okay, there you go. Thank you. I left. Okay, 101.2 was her temperature when I left. I gave her 4 Tylenols to bring it down from 102.4 to 101.2. 4 Tylenols. I came back a half an hour later, and I checked her temperature, and it was 97.4. Maybe it was a coincidence, but I'm telling you, it's not the first time. Peppermint oil is unbelievable. I've used it for headaches, and it promotes and maintains support a healthy feeling head. It promotes and maintains healthy stomach. It promotes and maintains healthy breathing. And it promotes and maintains and supports comfort. I will say that. So I am going to sign off, and I will say I will see you next time. And I hope you learned something from this, and I hope you try your peppermint oil if you have it. And if you want to know more about it, let me know. Subscribe to my list, and you'll find out more. All right. Have a wonderful evening and rest of the week.